Now this was the big one, which is Casper Ruud, who really doesn't say much.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "This is the worst tournament ever. They are cheap. They don't take care of the players."
Yeah.
And he said it publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And James Blake, who has been loud on the internet lately, we'll get into that next week, had something to say about that. But first of all, what are your thoughts on Casper Ruud saying that the Miami Open is the worst tournament on tour?
It's probably not the worst tournament on tour, but I do understand where he's coming from with a Masters 1000 fresh off of Indian Wells, where you've got a multi-billionaire funding the event, almost not caring about profit, and then you land in Miami and it's ran by, sticks and stones. And I think like an equity firm owns Miami and James Blake's just the face that you yell at. From what I understand, the Miami Open is actually in a bit of a transition period right now. Switching venues, investor owners, and having a new guy running it as the tournament director, James Blake.
Right.
I think that the players are getting the brunt of what's happening because the transition is just so big. And that's unfortunate, and Casper Ruud is probably telling the truth about everything he's saying. But I think that all those things over time should get fixed and addressed. So he's just got to bear with it. Yes,
he complained to the chair umpire that there was a shortage of water and lack of towels.
That's wild.
So he said, how can a Masters 1000 do this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, James Blake had a response, and he said, I understand his anger, but if he had something to say it privately, and then we can discuss and come up with solutions. Don't do it when you're losing a match, pretty much. Do you agree with James Blake?
I think James Blake sounds very wise, and he sounds like he's being the bigger man. But at the same time, how heard are players going to be if they only say things in private? Now the tournament has a little bit more accountability they have to face. So I kind of side with Casper Ruud here. I don't know how impactful the players' words are behind the scenes. I really don't. But what I do know is with the entire internet and event goers and stuff, and even other players getting the opportunity to see another player speak out, it creates a platform, and it makes things get done. So I actually like that it happened.
Yes, you actually brought up a good point. At first, I was on the side of James Blake because it is. I truly believe that if you have something, just say it to me, and then we can deal with it. But you're right as far as this is concerned. If it's not brought out in public, then how are people going to know? The word spreads, and as a matter of fact, Zverev was complaining about the same thing. Not the lack of water and stuff, but he was saying that on center court, it plays faster than on the outer courts.
Yeah.
And it was hard to accustom to that.
Yeah.
And he said all courts should be playing the same.
Yeah.
So he had a complaint as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and obviously when you put everything out on a public platform, we start to hear the voices that maybe were smaller and scared to speak out, players that are less successful who don't want to complain. Now they're going to go, the courts are different speeds. Yeah, I don't have an actual trailer. I'm sitting outside in a tent, whatever they're going through. And so I think it was actually a good idea from Casper Ruud. I don't know if his intentions were that good.
I don't think they were.
I don't think so either. And kind of like you said, man to man, talk to me on the side, please.
Yes.
But, at the same time, I do think that what Casper Ruud what he did is probably going to help other players.
Right.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah, and then just for the snippet part, again, the other drama at Miami was Holger Rune getting eliminated 1-6, and then making the excuses of, I was sick, I shouldn't have played. So that was the drama